Hi everybody, it's Jennifer, and this morning I wanted to take a little bit of time and do a little live chat for people. This is something new that I was trying, but I thought it would be fun to have an opportunity to just sort of say hi, share some information, and give everybody a chance to ask questions. Hopefully this format works and is kind of fun, and if it is, then I will be doing it for other types of crafting. We'll do it for just sort of stamping and chatting and other things as well. So if you like this, let me know and we can do more. So I wanted to first off thank everybody who sent me questions early, had things that you were wondering about so that I could make a list. So if you see me glancing down, that is because I am trying to look at my list of questions to make sure that I answer everything. So I'm just going to quickly go up. Hi Stormy, welcome to our call. And I think there is Donna. Hi Donna, nice to have you on here as well. And I am sorry, hopefully this audio and video is coming across okay. It's for some reason my computer is being a little bit slow and grumpy this morning. So, but I wanted to start out with sort of like the whole point of this call is to talk about the starter kit and being a demonstrator and kind of why you would even want to do this in the first place. So let's just get started with that. So I have been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for almost 7 years. I've started out, like many people, doing it because I wanted to get a discount and I wanted to do this, get in on all the sneak peeks from when new catalogs came out. And I will admit that is still, the sneak peeks is still one of the biggest draws for me. I think that if I stopped being a demonstrator, that would be the thing I missed the most. Well, I would miss the people in the community, but I would definitely miss knowing. I would be back online going, okay, what's coming out? What's going to be new in the new catalog? So it's always an exciting time. And right now it's that time almost. We find out in May, so we have about 1 more month, and then we will get to see what's coming in the new catalog. So very exciting. But why would you consider signing up? Well, the thing is, the great part about Stampin' Up! And being a demonstrator is its obligation is actually pretty small. So it's very easy to give it a shot and see what you think and see what benefits are best for you. So if you have a wish list, if you have things that you are looking to get and it's more than $100, you should really start thinking about the starter kit, because for your $100, you can place an order, and any demonstrator you place that order with is going to greatly appreciate that order and love that. But you could place that order and you don't have to pay shipping on it. You just have to pay sales tax. And on top of that $100, you're going to get an extra $25 that you can spend as part of that starter kit. The idea being is that you get this extra value to get items to get yourself going on your personal crafting projects, or if you want to share it with others, you get the additional, you have a little bit more to get those additional items so that you can right away get started making projects and sharing them with other people. So you get a bit of a discount already up front, which continues on as your first purchase. That if you haven't placed an order, whether it's your own personal order or whether it's for other people, so you do a big coming out party, do a big open house, any order that's over $150 in that first 45 days gets you 30% commission, or if you're buying for yourself, it's a 30% discount. So I know there's a lot of people who sign up because they want to get that discount every time they place an order, because they get 20%. You as a demonstrator always get a minimum of 20% off of all of your orders, or 20% commission off of anything that anyone orders from you, whether they said, hey, will you pick up this glue stick that's $3.95, or whether they said, I want the big shot that's $100, or so on. So there's definitely the bonus of seeing the pre-orders. There's definitely the bonus of getting to get your discount on everything that you purchase. If you have friends that love it too, getting to earn a little bit of extra income or just get a little bit more money towards your crafting spending is always a bonus. But then there's other things that maybe aren't as obvious to see. There is this massive community of demonstrators between Facebook groups, between live events and activities, and there are many online forums and groups. Stampin' Up! Has an exclusive one called Stampin' Connection, with galleries of hundreds of pictures of projects that are being shared by demonstrators all over the world. But there's forums, lots of people sharing tips and ideas, from tutorials to business ideas. So there's lots and lots of sharing. And I have to admit, I have found that, I mean, in general, crafters are just such amazing people that love to share and share their passion with each other. But it's even more amazing as demonstrators that people really come together and really support each other. And I think that that is really awesome. So there's that built-in community. And then with whoever you sign up with, so if you sign up with me and my group, we have an online forum for our group, but we also email. We try to get in different locations because we have people spread across the US. We try to get together and stamp together and do other activities as well. So that is always amazing. And then if you are somewhere where you aren't stamping with other people, Stampin' Up! Has a magazine that they send out every other month called Stampin' Success. Wow, that took me a minute to think of. That has tutorials as well, and project ideas and tips and information and sharing. So there's just all kinds of ways that you get extra information. So one of the things I always hear people say is, "Oh, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I'm not creative enough. Where do you get your ideas?" And the great thing is, I get my ideas from Pinterest, from the Stampin' Up! Catalogs, from the Stampin' Connection, and from what other demonstrators are sharing. And there's some things that I create on my own, but there's just so much sharing out there that, I mean, there's just not enough time in the day to do everything that we see that we love, that we have the opportunity to do. So those are just some of the perks. And then if you are someone who starts sharing it with other people or things like that, there's all kinds of ways between if you have other people that join with you on your stamping journey as demonstrators, or whether you are selling enough that you can start earning points for free product, for incentive trips, for cash bonuses. There's just lots of opportunities. And if you've heard about the change on the Wind, which is coming in October, where the kind of career and compensation plan is changing, what I have found and what I've shared with my group is that I actually find that it's going to be better for the majority of demonstrators, in that it makes it more accessible and easier for folks who aren't out there doing 10 events a month to actually earn some of those benefits and really see some of those little extra incentives. So lots of really fun things. So my summary there is, whether you're doing this just for a discount, that is totally cool, and we love you and we want to see the creative things that you do. Whether you're doing it for creative inspiration, that there are lots of people here who have no interest in doing anything other than stamping and exploring and learning and sharing. Or if you want to take it a step further and you want to earn a little extra money or earn incentive trips or things like that, there is room for everyone to participate in that form. So, say you've gotten excited, you're ready to go and you want to do this. Now the next step is, well, what in the heck do I do now? And that is, you want to get the starter kit. So what I told you earlier, you get to pick $125 of whatever product you want. This is one of the nice changes. A few years ago, it used to be that you had there was a set list of items and you could swap out maybe a different color ink pad or maybe a different color paper, but you had to get what they got. And I really like how they've figured out that everybody has different passions and everyone has a different craft room with a different set of supplies. So you can pick what supplies you need. But I often get, what should I get in my starter kit? So really what you want to do with your starter kit is, first off, you want to think about, am I doing this for me? Am I just doing this for my own personal crafting? Am I doing this and think maybe I want to share with other people, or am I planning on doing classes and events? Because then you can really tailor your starter kit to match that. If you are somebody doing it mainly for yourself, and especially if you're newer to Stampin' Up, what I usually recommend is they have family packs of the cardstock, which is a pack for $6.95. You get a pack of cardstock where you get 2 each of every color in a particular color family. So all the subtles, all the regals, all the brights, all the same color tones. And I recommend getting one of each of those if you aren't already familiar with the Stampin' Up! Colors, particularly the current colors, because then you get a chance to see economically a little bit of everything. And then you can find as you're going through saying, oh, I really, really love this color, not so much this other color. And when you find the colors that you really like, you can get more of that color. But if you start with those, start with a few inks. Again, get either, I either would say go with the in colors that you can kind of get a bundle, or maybe a little bit better is to pick a few colors. Pick 1 or 2 neutrals, pick a couple, 2 or 3 of your colors. And so you have a little variety pack of your colors. You have your variety pack of your ink pad, or excuse me, of your cardstock. And then start looking to getting at least 1 stamp set. I usually recommend getting a stamp set with a coordinating punch, especially if you can get it as a bundle, because then you get a discount on top of your discounts, and it gives you something current and new and fresh to start playing with right away and getting you excited. Many people already have stamps, already have things, so you don't need to go all out on that, but it gives you something that's kind of fun and new and exciting. If you are, the other things that I say, whether you are thinking of doing this for yourself, or especially if you think you're ever going to talk to other people or show other people or do stamping with other people, is make sure you have a couple supplies that are, there's certain tools that are Stampin' Up that you would want to get, which is get the Stampin' Mist, which is our cleaner, and the Stampin' Scrub, which is the scrub pad. These things are used, whether you are showing other people or using for yourself, they are amazing. They are, honestly, I think our Stampin' Scrubs are better than a lot of the scrub pads out on the market because they are double-sided. So you have a wash side and a dry side, and that they are black. I know that for me, it always drove me crazy that I have my one white stamp cleaner pad that always got dirty, and that was really drove me crazy. So I always recommend that because it's also, it's a talking point that whenever you're stamping with other people, they go, oh, and they haven't seen it, they go, oh, what's that? It's an easy sell, and I have yet to have somebody buy one and not be happy with it. The other thing to make sure you have is if you have a good trimmer. So our Stampin' Trimmer is known as being one of the better ones, one of the best ones on the market. I will be in forums that are not Stampin' Up only, and people will be recommending it. Again, it's another thing that I have sold that I have not gotten anyone really sad about buying once they've purchased it. So from there, so you have your cardstock, you have a stamp set and maybe a punch, you have a way to clean your stamps. And then from there, I sort of fill in with things that will make you happy and make you want to stamp. If you think you want to do an open house or share with people, I would get our note cards and envelopes. It gives you 20 note cards and 20 envelopes for, I think it's $6.95. So again, it's a great way for you to economically, and not much work for you to do, is have a card base that you can use to show other people our products if you wanted to do something to kind of kick off. You could consider one of the paper stacks. For example, in the main catalog, we have the Moonlight DSP or the Olive Bloom. Again, it's another $6.95, 48 sheets, great for cards. So I'd like to do something like that. And then maybe pick a fun ribbon or embellishment, like some buttons or some candy dots, things like that. Make sure you have some adhesive if you don't have it at home, like your glue dots or your snail tape runner, things along those lines. People will say, oh, I have tools, I have punches, I have a die cutting machine, but it's not Stampin' Up. And those are things that I think you don't need to, I wouldn't worry about getting those immediately. It definitely down the road, if you're doing classes and events where you're showing with other people, it's always helpful to get the official Stampin' Up logoed one so people can see what they would actually be buying. If you have the exact same thing, like say you have a big shop but it's not from Stampin' Up, there's no need. I mean, you can use that in whatever you're doing for your own personal projects, even in classes, and it's still going to give you the same look. The only thing I say is just you're getting enough few things so that you can make things that are Stampin' Up that are current. So if you wanted to participate in a swap with other demonstrators, you have the supplies to do that. Then when you get your first order where you can have the $150+ order where you get 30% commission, if you're doing this for yourself, the things that I would say to follow up on is the things that you're really passionate about or what gets you excited. Because there's no point in saying, get your big shot and get some dies if that's not what's exciting to you, or say, get a bunch of paper or get a whole bunch of stamp sets if you already have a whole bunch that you're really excited about. The important thing is to get something that will make you want to sit and play, because there's nothing sadder than buying a bunch of supplies and then having it sit on a shelf and never getting touched and collecting dust, because then it gets retired, or you end up getting busy with some other hobby. You come back and you're like, oh, I really loved that. I meant to use it and I never did. So get things that you're going to use. And because if you're excited, if you love it, other people are going to get excited with you. So what I like to say is to get something, make some projects, post it on Facebook, post it somewhere, post it on YouTube, send it on Instagram, mail it to a friend, walk around and say, oh my goodness, look at what I just did. Isn't this awesome? Share your excitement and other people will share it with you. And they'll go, that looks really fun. I want to do it too. Excuse me. So, the other thing that I usually recommend is if when you sign up, before you place that $150 order, do something like start telling your friends, or post on Facebook, or say, hey, I just signed up and I'm getting my Stampin' Up starter kit, or post when your kit comes in the mail and you have everything out. Tell everybody how you're really excited, how you just started. Ask if anyone wants to get together and stamp with you, because you never know who's going to get excited and who's going to join you. And when they do, you never know, you might have other people that want to place orders with you. And if they do, you can just add that. You can turn the things you wanted to get, turn it into a workshop order, and they can, and it could just increase. So instead of that $150 order you personally was going to make, maybe you have a couple friends that add on to it, and suddenly it becomes a $250 order, which if you do soon is actually really great. Okay, so the next question that I get asked a lot, and I'm going to pause here for a minute because my video is being strange. There we go. So the next question I get asked a lot is, what does it mean? What do I need to do to stay active? What are the minimums? What are the requirements? Do I have to actually sell anything? And the answer is no, you don't have to sell anything. You don't actually have to do anything. You could get the starter kit and you could go home and use it and never place another order again, which, well, I personally think that would be sad and a little bit hard, because you know that you're getting the discount on everything that you order. That works for people, and that's what some people want to do, and that is completely and utterly fine. But what that means is when the quarter is over, in a quarter, you are, in order to continue to get the benefits, so in order to continue getting the magazine, get access to Demonstrator-only resources and forums, to be eligible for the sneak peeks, you have to have sold $300 in product over the course of the quarter. Now, that can be all at one time, or that can be broken up over the space of multiple orders. So you could either do a $150 order at the beginning of the month or the quarter, $150 at the end. You could do $300 in the middle, or all at the end, or all at the beginning. Any of that is fine. And hang on a second here. My computer is just driving me a little bit bananas, so I want to see if there's anything that I can close in here. No, not really. Okay. Okay. So, where was I at? Oh yeah, being active. So what you need to do is place the $150 order, $300 in orders. Now the nice thing is like I said, you get your discount. So the $300 is the catalog price, the retail price. It does not count for it doesn't, your minimums take the full amount, it doesn't take into account your discount. So let's say you place a $150 order, you're going to get $25 in hostess benefits for that $150 order. You're going to get $150 that counts towards your minimums, but then you are going to get, you're only going to have to pay 20% less. So that I think was $120. So you end up only paying the $120 plus tax and shipping on $120, even though you're getting $175 in product and it's counting $150 towards your minimums. Now, like I said, it's always nice if you can have other people who are ordering and doing things, because it's just that much less that you personally have to buy. So if you want to buy the 300, excellent and great, and more power to you, and enjoy everything you get. If you don't, then if somebody else can place an order, that only helps. And you don't have to do that by holding a class, by holding parties and having a hostess. Those are great. Classes and having hostess events do net you more sales, and I find that people get more excited and order more when they can actually touch and see and play with a product, because people will see it online, they will see it in the catalog, and they'll say that's cute, but that looks hard, or I don't know how I would use it or how it would work. But once they actually start playing with it and trying it, it goes a lot better. So some of the ways that you can do that is you can tell people about it and have them email or call you, and you place the order for them. Or one of the other things that we have, which is really great, so if you haven't been around Stampin' Up for a while, is they now have hostess codes, which are online codes to allow us to do parties online. Now, how that works is that we have different types of orders that when we place it, it's not something that you really need to know the details now, but long story short, there's customer orders and workshop orders. Workshop orders mean that you have more than one person who wants to place an order at the same time, and it's all gonna ship to somebody. One hostess gets all the benefits for it. It just basically means multiple people are placing orders that are gonna combine to earn somebody free hostess benefits, whether that person is you, the demonstrator, or whether that person is a hostess who has invited her friends. Now, when you do a workshop order, when you start it, you can create a hostess code that you can then give to the hostess or anyone else that you are inviting to this party. So if this is your first event and you're really excited, you can go in and create a workshop, start a workshop order, generate a hostess code, and then you tell everybody, hey, I am so stinking excited. I just joined Stampin' Up. I cannot wait to get my starter kit and get going. But in the meantime, while I'm planning this first event, if anyone is interested in ordering any products or helping me get started or kick off my business, let me know. I'm going to be putting in a group order, or you can go online and when you're on your shopping cart page, enter the hostess code block, and you give them, it's a series of letters and numbers. And what they do is they'll enter that hostess, that when they go through and they do their online shopping, as they go to checkout, they can enter the hostess code. They enter their hostess code. Stampin' Up! Has a little thing that pops up that says, thank you. This counts towards Jennifer's party. And then they check out just like normal. Their order gets processed right away. It gets shipped to them right away. But that total amount that they've spent now counts towards your party. And again, if this is your first party, that amount that they've just spent, it's gonna count towards that party you're trying to hit at least 150 so that you get hostess benefits, but it will also count towards that, getting you to the extra 30% commission. Yay, score. Just a few things to know about online hostess codes, because they're great, because I've seen Facebook parties, I've done events where people have come to they've hosted an event here, but they've had friends in other states place orders to support them, and it just helps them earn more and more hostess benefits. Because when you're done, so say you have some friends that are in California that they've combined placed $200 in orders. You've already earned $40. Let's see, do I have that right? No, $30. You've already earned $30 in hostess benefits for doing nothing, just having your friends somewhere else place orders. You've earned $30 in free product. Now, when you are ready to redeem your hostess dollars, or if you have anyone else locally that wants to place an order, then you can go in and put everything that they've wanted in their in the workshop order to close it out. Now, anyone that doesn't place the order online, all those orders are going to go in together, so they'll ship to. So this is as if you had a party at your house, say. All of the orders that are placed then will be shipped to the hostess, and they will all have the same, there will be one shipping cost, and so it gets divided up among everyone that has placed that order. And so then you can get your hostess benefits at that time. So you can add anything else you personally wanted, anything else anyone else wanted. Those totals get added to what everybody else placed online, and they total up to see what your final hostess dollars. So say you had those $200 from people in California, and then you had another $200 from people, yourself and people locally. That gives you $400, which gives you the $65 in hostess benefits and one free half-priced item. So yay, score for you. That extra $200 in outside orders really, really helped. They're excited because they get their product shipped right away. You don't have to muss with getting it to them. And everyone is happy. The only thing to know about hostess codes, just because I had somebody ask me, this is why I'm spending some extra time on this, with the hostess code, is that if you had, say you had $400 in people placing those orders somewhere else, and you aren't doing a party, you aren't doing an event where you're placing a personal order on that. If you go to redeem your hostess dollars, there's still going to be a minimum shipping of $6.95. So just be aware, if you have a whole bunch of people place these orders online in order to get, and then the person who's getting the hostess benefits, if they don't want to place any orders, if there's not any orders, there is a minimum $6.95 shipping. But heck, if you're going to get $65 in free product, $6.95 shipping isn't that bad. So it can be a win-win for everybody. Now, a couple other questions was, what happens if I don't meet the minimums? If you don't meet your minimums, that is totally fine. There is no penalty other than you no longer are active. You have your 3-month quarter. If at the end of the 3 months you haven't hit your $300, then you have an extra month where you can, it's called your pending month, where you have a chance to catch up, where you can take that month, you need to catch up everything you sell then will go towards your $300 that you'd missed. And then once you hit your $300, then anything else that you sell counts towards the minimums for that current quarter. If over the course of that makeup month you still don't hit your $300, then you're just considered no longer an active demonstrator. It's called being dropped, and it just means that you go back to being a valued customer for whoever your demonstrator was, and you keep everything that you've gotten, everything you've earned, all the magazines. You just no longer have access to some of the forums, and you don't have a new magazine coming, and you don't get the discount. If you drop and you go, shoot, I really missed it, or I meant to do it and I wish I could sign, you can always rejoin under your same demonstrator upline immediately. Once everything is run and you've been dropped, you can get the starter kit again and you can rejoin. If you decide that you want to sign up again, but for whatever reason you have a different demonstrator that you wanted to join with, there's a 90-day waiting period. So if you're somebody who has dropped recently and you are planning on signing up again, and for whatever reason, maybe you moved or something happened where you wanted to sign up under somebody else, you just need to wait 90 days from when everything was processed before you can rejoin under somebody else. But like I said, if you want to sign back up and your demonstrator your upline is active, or if the person who was your upline had dropped, so that person is no longer active, then you can sign up right away, and you'll either go back to that person, or if they no longer are an active demonstrator, you can re-sign up immediately under somebody else. Let's see. One last question was taxes. That is one that I hear periodically, and I will preface by saying I am not a tax specialist, so that I don't have, don't consider me the definitive answer, because I don't guarantee that I will answer everyone's question exactly right. But what I do know from the things that I have learned and what I've observed is that this is something that it can be considered a business. However, if you are just purchasing for yourself, or you are not turning a profit. So the way I do it is that everything that I'm purchasing, I consider a business expense. And then all my class fees, commissions from orders, things like that, are my income. And so I can go through and do my taxes by doing my balance sheet of what have I spent on expenses, what have I brought in on my income, am I making a profit? And then what I know is that if you try to claim that what you're doing is a business, so that you want to claim your supplies that you purchased as an expense on your business, if you are not making a profit, I want to say that it's like 3 out of 5 years, that there's a certain ratio number that I'm sure is easy to find, that the federal government considers it a hobby, not a business. And so if you are someone who is concerned about how this impacts you on the fact of, because you're having to sign up as an independent demonstrator, and so there is tax information that gets shared. Typically, if you are buying for yourself, or if you are not doing a lot of events, usually you don't kind of run into what would be officially considered, it doesn't usually impact. But feel free to message me or leave me a question or comment. I can follow up with you and we can talk more about your specific situations. But I know in many cases, depending on how you run this for yourself, it more or less impacts your taxes, either in things that you can claim as deductibles and expenses, or in the sense of you sort of consider it your personal hobby, and so it doesn't impact earning sides of things. So hopefully that answers some of your questions. So I've been going on, people have said hi, and I guess I should have prefaced from the beginning. Feel free to throw out your questions. Does anyone have any questions? Anything that didn't make sense, or that you want me to talk more about? Because that's why we're here, so that I can talk, but I can always talk a lot. I wanted to make sure that I answered questions that other people had and get a chance to say hello. So I think I've covered most of the questions that have been asked to me in advance, and I don't want to take up lots of your time on a Saturday morning. So is there any other questions? Does anyone have anything that you've been wondering about that you want to ask, so I can make sure to answer? And everyone is so nice and quiet over there on the chat. So, okay, perfect. So Donna, you don't have any questions. Well, hopefully this answered some of your questions, Donna. I'm super excited to talk more with you and see what things you pick out for your starter kit. And the thing is that I have to say is that they're, and Stormy asks, does this mean you don't have to file? If you are not trying to run this as a business, and you are not doing a lot, I don't want to go so far. I'm not a tax expert, so I don't want to go so far as to say you don't have to file. But I will say some people don't, especially people who are just doing this for themselves personally. But in a lot of cases, even if you do file, it does not tend to impact status if you are not doing like a lot of classes or events where you're selling. Again, I'm just going to say one more time, I'm not a tax expert, so yeah, probably if the other income does not meet the minimum to file, right? Yes, that is true. So usually the case is, especially if you're doing this mainly for yourself, is the amount of income you make doesn't hit a threshold to really. I mean, Stampin' Up will not. You are responsible for recording and filing your own taxes, but Stampin' Up will not send you a 1099 and won't send that information if you haven't hit a certain threshold. That usually you need to be working it as a business to meet the threshold for them to be sending you that 1099. I will say for myself, in my first few years, I didn't get 1099s, and then I started getting them more as I was being a lot more active with my business and really trying to run it as a business. But like I said, the thing is, I have found that the thing that I think is really great is that Stampin' Up is your own personal business. It is your own thing that you can do with whatever you want. And I love the flexibility, because in my first 5 years of being a demonstrator, I moved and lived in 4 different states. I had 2 children, and I had times where when my daughter, my second child, when I was pregnant, I found out I was pregnant right as I was moving from California to Washington, and trying to deal with a move and being pregnant and all of these things, I could not be bothered to deal with doing classes. It was all I could do to write blog posts and do a little bit of crafting for myself. And I just didn't do much with it. And the thing was, is that was okay. I knew that every time I thought about, well, maybe I won't make my minimums, or maybe I don't want to place the order, either somebody else placed an order with me that helped get me over the hump, or I just found I didn't want to be disconnected from the community. I didn't want to be disconnected from my people, whether it was the customers I'd had in the past, whether it was my demonstrator friends. I wanted to have the information. I wanted to be in the know, and I just wanted to have these people because it's been so fun to be able to just sit there and work on something, get really excited, and know, hey, I have people that I can go to say, hey, I learned this new thing, or check out this project. Isn't it a complete disaster? But it was so fun to create. So it's been great to just have that. And I love all the perks. And the thing that I really love is that the company is really awesome. I know people that have worked for other crafting direct sell companies, and they'll tell me that they've come to Stampin' Up, and just the support and the love they feel from the company is just so much different and such an impact. It's a family-owned company. The thing is, they don't borrow money, so they've been in the black. So they make some decisions that's hard to hear sometimes, because they'll discontinue product that we love, or they will stop running certain incentives or events, and it's hard. But the thing is it means that the company isn't going to fold, and it isn't going to go bankrupt. And they do it taking into consideration and taking into account the opinions and the input of demonstrators out there, because they really want us to succeed. And I feel it and appreciate it, and I love it. So I am grateful that I've found this, and I know that as I move forward, as life gives me time to spend more or less time on it, I know that I always want to have it there. And I want to share that with other people, because whether you're just looking for creative inspiration, or looking for opportunities to share, or want the flexibility to know that you have that down the road, it's a great way to go. So with that, I think that covers a lot of what I had to share. Hopefully this gave you some good information. Hopefully it was helpful. Hopefully it maybe gets you a little bit excited as well. And then if there's anybody that listens to this that isn't a demonstrator that has been considering doing it, I will say, if you can do it before the end of March, it is a great time to sign up, because right now we're in the middle of Celebration, or at the very tail end of Celebration. And with Celebration, if you get the starter kit, you will not only get the $125 in product for $99, but you're also going to get your choice of 2 free Celebration items, which are stamps, papers, things like that. Or, and this is actually a little bit, I realize is a little bit better, you can get one of the larger project kits from the Occasions catalog. Now, the reason why that's nice is because if you get a project kit, especially, for example, the Hooray It's Your Day card kit, is that gives you supplies to make 20 cards, and I think you get to make 4 each of 5 different designs. Is that if you get that, you already have a class to share with other people. So you can get that project kit, and you can say, hey, when this shows up, let's get together and let's do this together. Just make sure if you do pick one of the project kits that you consider getting in your starter kit any of the stamp sets or ink that you may not have that go with that project kit. If for some reason you're not able to sign up during Celebration, or if you don't want to, or if you're hearing this and it's after March, the only thing that's different if you don't sign up during Celebration is that you don't get those bonus project kits or the bonus Celebration items. You're still going to get the $125 for $99 and free shipping. You're still going to, if you sign up, you're still going to get connected in with the communities and the magazines. If you sign up in the next couple months, it'll be during the retirement list coming out, which is a great thing to share, and people will sometimes want to pick up items from you. It's also we have the the annual catalog pre-order that is going to be starting in May for demonstrators. So demonstrators who are active in May will get to see the new catalog and will get to order from it, which is exciting. It is true if you sign up now and you are in the position to place a large order, there are benefits for demonstrators during celebration. You get benefits if you have somebody who's interested in also signing up. If you sign up now before the end of March and then they sign up underneath you, you get an incentive and some free product dollars for your recruits. And if you end up selling at least $500 before the end of the month, so let's say that you sign up this weekend and then on Monday you get everybody to do an online party with you and you sell $1,000, you'll get free incentive dollars to spend out of the catalog on your next order as well. In April you'll get dollars as well. So there's some benefits. Some of the demonstrator benefits for celebration, you'd have to work pretty quickly. But the big benefit for doing it during celebration is you get those free project kits or products. And then, like I said, if you can't make it, it's always a good time to join. There's not always an extra incentive. There's not always a little bonus. But right now there happens to be. There will be, again, sometime. I don't think it will be immediately. And we never know when they're going to be or what they're going to be. So I always say, you might as well, when you can, hop in. You're already going to get good value. And then if an incentive comes up, then just share it with other people. You never know. You might find some new stamping buddies that want to get in and get the discount just like you. And you have somebody you can sit and stamp with and get excited and share the magazines with and all of that. So, any other questions while I'm here? Oh, and the other thing too, I will say, so obviously I'm a demonstrator. I would love to have you join my team. And you can do that by going to nwstamper.stampinup.net/join-the-fun. But if you have a demonstrator, if you're listening to this and you already have a demonstrator, you already are a demonstrator, and you want to sign up with that person, that is excellent. The thing to know that's always important, and it often I think gets overlooked, is it's very important when you're going to sign up, no matter why you're joining, is to be aware of who it is you're signing up with. Because if you want somebody who's going to be there to support you and answer your questions, just make sure that the person you're signing up with is somebody who is able to answer the questions or wants to answer the questions. Because I have heard cases of people who don't necessarily want to support a downline. And so if somebody joins under them, they'll say, that's great, I appreciate it, but I don't do things for my downline. And that may be totally okay with you. It may be the case that you're trying to support your mother or your sister-in-law or your cousin. And so you're signing up under them to help them. And that's totally fine and completely respectable. But if you're somebody who wants more, make sure that whoever you're signing up with offers that. Like for myself, I email my downline regularly, and I have a monthly call for everybody. So we do a video chat every month. I have incentives that I run, and I have our team Facebook group. So there's things that I offer, other demonstrators offer other things. So just be aware that that is out there. I know that for me, I'm doing this because I love it and I love sharing with people. And so I am constantly looking for ways to try to help share and encourage and support the people who have chosen to be part of my stamping family and my fun and crafty stampers, and make it fun for everybody. So, what about the website you can do to sell? So I'm not 100% sure. So Stampin' Up has their stampinup.com that anyone can go shop at. And when they're shopping, they can select who their demonstrator is. And when they select that demonstrator, if they select you, you get the commission for that order. And so you can choose to have your own website. They have a business website that, you get 2 months free. So you get 2 months free, and that's the, donna.stampinup.net, whatever you set it up to be. And you get that for 2 months free, and then it's $12.95. And what that provides is it provides a sort of professional website that you basically never have to touch if you don't want to. They update the content in it. They will put new projects in it periodically. They will make sure that promotions are current in there. And it has the ability to do a blog through it. Though I will say, if you have the time and inclination, I recommend doing your own separate blog and then feeding it back into your demonstrator website. You can do newsletters and emails through the website that they provide, and it gives you a way to have links to your demonstrator website. That is the one of the things that's really nice about it, is that if you have that demonstrator website, it's very easy to send somebody a link and say, hey, check out this stamp set that I think you'll love, and put your information at the end of it, so that when they click the link, it will automatically select you as a demonstrator. Now, if after you get do the couple months free and you decide, yeah, this isn't doing much for me, or it's not what I need, you can always cancel it. And then if somebody goes onto the demonstrator website, they can place an order and select you as the demonstrator, and you will get commission for it. Now, just to be upfront and honest, right now, the way it's set up is if you don't have a demonstrator website, if they place an order online and select you as the demonstrator, you get 10% commission. You don't get your full commission. That has historically been to kind of help defray some of it just sort of helps with the costs of the system. They are changing that in October. So in October, you'll get your full 20%. So that changes over time. But there are other benefits to having the website as well. But I do know a lot of people, even if they're just doing this as a hobby, they're just doing this for themselves, they'll set up their own personal blog, or they'll use the demonstrator, their website blog, to share products and specials and information. So, and that's something that if you're interested in, I'm more than happy to walk you through setting it up and kind of how it all works. And how to post classes and events, because you can always put things on your calendar, even if it's just something to say that you're posting to say, I'm available for a workshop, or I'm doing an open craft night, or things like that. Because I find having that website, the other benefit of having the website is you get in their directory. And so if somebody is looking for a demonstrator in their area, they can type in their address, see who's nearby, and if they can click through their websites. And one of the most important things you can do is have some words that are on the front page that are different than what's default, and is to have something on your calendar. Now, I always tell anyone in my group, make sure you put things like our team phone call on there and our team events, because even if it's something that I'm hosting, you can have people that are invited to join in. You can have people who are interested in joining participate. And it gives you something on your calendar to show people that you are actively involved, as opposed to you signed up, got your starter kit, and then are just sitting in your craft room playing with it with no interest in talking to other people about Stampin' Up. So it definitely can make a big difference, even if you aren't out there doing a ton of stuff with it. So, all right, well, my goal of half an hour has gone a little long, but I think this is great. I really appreciate the questions. It's been wonderful. It's been fun to talk. If you have any other questions, feel free to throw them up there now, or send me an email at jennifer@nwstamper.com, or message me on Facebook, or leave a YouTube comment, because I'll be posting this on YouTube. Any of the above, and I would be glad to talk more and answer more specific questions that you maybe didn't think of, or that you didn't want to share kind of out in more in the public forum. So with that, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you again, everyone, for joining me. And sorry if the video, I know on my end the video kept freezing, but hopefully the audio kept going just fine. So I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to speaking to many of you in the future. So thanks so much, and I hope you have a wonderful Saturday and the rest of your day. So take care, everyone.